My name is Alex Murdaugh. I think the police should answer us immediately. My wife and child have been shot badly.
Did they shoot themselves?
Oh, no. Hell no. He shot in the head, and he shot really bad. There's blood everywhere.
I could see his brain on his...
I mean, neither one of them suffered very long.
A matter of seconds, if that. When I'm asking you what time you went to the office that day, what time you got home, you saying 5 or 5:30. I've gotten the card readout from the law firm, and it shows you going in at 5:30. Would you be willing to take a polygraph?
We're not going to answer that question.
For generations, the Murdaugh family was one of the most powerful names in South Carolina's Lowcountry. But on the night of June 7th, 2021, everything changed when 52-year-old Alex called emergency services in a panic, reporting that he had found his wife Maggie and their 22-year-old son Paul shot to death near the kennels of the family's Moselle hunting property. But as investigators began piecing together the evidence, it led them in a direction no one had expected. The following presentation contains material that some viewers may find disturbing. The case files and recordings shown here were obtained through official Freedom of Information Act requests submitted directly to the police department and may include previously unseen footage. Viewer discretion is advised. The Murdaugh family background. For nearly 90 years, 3 generations of Murdaugh men served back-to-back as the elected chief prosecutor for South Carolina's 14th Judicial Circuit, giving the family extraordinary influence across 5 counties. They also ran a highly successful law firm founded in 1910. Although Alex never held the prosecutor's office himself, he became a partner at the family firm, inheriting a legacy that made the Murdaugh name one of the most powerful and respected in the region. However, that legacy was shaken the night a 911 call came in at 10:06 p.m.
County 911, where's your emergency?
This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I think the police should answer us immediately. My wife and child have been shot badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hurry.
Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hello?
I'm still here. Stay on the line. I'm still here, okay? Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay, how did they shoot? Did they shoot themselves?
Oh, no. Hell no.
Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone?
He shot in the head, and he shot really bad. He shot really bad.
Okay, where is he shot at?
Ma'am, I don't know, but there's blood everywhere. I can see his brain. Face down. I tried to turn her a little bit, but she's got a hole in her head.
Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Is there any guns near them at all?
No, there's here.
What color's your house on the outside?
If that's what you're asking, they didn't shoot themselves, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, and did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you.
Oh, man. Oh, should have known.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to Maggie?
Hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours ago.
What? Okay, you said about 2 hours ago you talked to them?
Approximately, yes, ma'am, approximately.
Okay, did she say what they were doing at all?
No, I talked to her in person.
You talked to her in person?
Ma'am, please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot in the head, but what about your son?
Nobody's. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number?
I'm going back to my house just to get a gun just in case. I'm about 100 yards from my house.
And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really, no, ma'am.
Okay. I know you're upset, Mr. Murdaugh, but I don't want you to get a gun and have a gun out whenever my officers get there, okay?
I will not do that. He's been being threatened by, my son had a boat wreck. He's been being threatened for months and months and months. He's been hit several times, and I'm sure finally hit.
Do you know who was threatening your son?
It's too many people to discuss over the phone. Right, 1 second. All right, I'm going back down there. Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay, can you do me a favor, Mr. Murdaugh, and turn on the flashers on your car so that way they can see where the kennels are?
21. Central coming out station 18. You will need station 15.
I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I'd already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay? Did your son, I know you said that he had been threatened, did your son make reports of this at all?
Yes, ma'am.
He did? And what's your son's name?
Paul.
Paul?
Ma'am, I'm going to call. I need to call some of my family.
Okay.
On this.
Well, do me a favor for me. Whenever you see the officer or the medics, because they're all coming to you, can you put your gun in your vehicle for me?
Absolutely.
Okay. But we have them come in, turn on the flashes on your vehicle so they can see you, okay? Whenever you see them, put your gun up for me, okay?
Okay.
How old is your son?
22.
Okay. All right. We're getting them out there to you, okay?
And I will answer if you call.
Calling County Dispatch.
Hi, two people were shot in Moselle.
Okay, ma'am.
On Moselle Road.
Ma'am, we are aware. Who am I speaking with? Who am I speaking with?
I'm Caroline Murdaugh.
Okay, and are you related to them?
Yes, it's my uncle's property.
Okay, he is already called.
Ma'am?
Who's your uncle? Is it Alan?
It's Alex, yeah.
Okay, he's already called, and they're on the way to you. Are you guys inside the house?
I'm somewhere else.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just need to make sure nobody goes inside that residence if you guys go over there, okay? But the ambulance and everything.
I'll call him and tell him.
Yeah, nobody needs to go inside that residence at all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's okay, sweetie. It's okay. It's disturbing evidence if they go inside, so he's got to stay outside. But the ambulance is right there, and there's law enforcement, but we got to make sure the scene's secure before we can send the ambulance in, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're welcome, sweetie.
Deputies rushed to the Moselle property and upon arrival found Paul lying face down in the doorway of the feed room at the end of the dog kennels. Maggie was found near the edge of a nearby equipment shed. Both had been shot multiple times. That same night, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, assumed control of the investigation. With Alex being the only person known to have discovered the bodies, investigators considered him their most important witness. In the early hours of June 8th, they conducted their first interview with him inside his vehicle.
I mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and, I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was...
I'm sorry.
And I could see his brain on his... And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, I called 911 pretty much right away, and she was very good. I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that.
What family members did you call?
I called my brother Randy. and I called my brother John. And I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
What all was around Paul when you walked up?
Blood.
Anything else?
I mean, there were some body things, yes, sir.
I mean, like any other evidence? I know you said the phone fell out the pocket, but did you see anything else that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not the, no, sir.
How about Maggie?
No, sir.
You didn't see anything around them? What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response. When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there, so I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was gonna be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was refiguring to plant the sunflower seeds. So I came back up here and I drove up and saw and called.
Had Maggie and Paul been arguing over anything?
No.
What was their relationship like?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about yours and Maggie's?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm sure we had little things here and there, but we had a wonderful marriage, wonderful relationship.
And yours and Paul's relationship?
As good as it could be. What comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago, and there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online, just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot. So, but I mean, nothing like this.
Yeah. Any one person in particular or group of people?
I don't know.
That you could think of?
Not that I know, no, sir.
Has he, other than being assaulted, has he received any direct threats related to the boat accident?
Oh, yes. All the time he gets
recently?
Yes, sir. I mean, he gets them all the time.
Okay.
He gets them all the time.
What kind of,
I'm gonna kick your ass, I've never been privy firsthand,
Is that through social media or?
No, ma'am. It's mostly like if he goes out places is what he goes out like somewhere. He's in college, so if he goes out is what I understand. And I can find out better details from some of his younger friends on that.
Who's his best friend?
His best friend in Colombia is Will's Chapman, Will Loving, Bobby Boyle. Bobby Boyle, Will Chapman, and Paul were getting ready to move into a house together in Colombia.
You said Will Chapman and Will Loving?
Will's Wills with an S,
okay.
Chapman, and Will with an L, Loving.
Okay.
Around here, his best friends are clearly Nolan Tootin and Rogan Gibson.
Anybody on that boat really have a hard-on for Paul that you would think would come after him, or know of any direct threats from people on the boat?
I don't know of any direct threats between any of the people on the boat specifically, but I do think there's been a small amount of yip-yap between a couple of them, but not recently.
Okay.
Most of this was stuff from people that Paul didn't really know.
Okay.
It was some people that he knew distantly, but more times than not, when I learned about it, it was somebody that he didn't know.
Okay.
It's like, for example, he went out in Charleston a couple months ago, came back, he got a black eye. And, he can't defend himself right now because he has these charges. So, Paul was a real tough man's man. He would just...
He would defend himself, but he hadn't been...
That's right, but...
How was he handling that case, looming over everybody?
As far as what?
How was he handling it?
I've never been prouder of him than the way he has handled the pressures and the adversity in that situation. I think I've told Danny that before.
2 years before the murders, in February 2019, Paul, who was only 19 back then, was returning from a party with several friends aboard the family's boat. Paul, who was heavily intoxicated, crashed the boat into the Arches Creek Bridge in Beaufort County, South Carolina. One of the passengers, 19-year-old Mallory, was thrown into the water and died. Her body was not recovered until a week later. Paul was charged with multiple felony counts and was out on bond awaiting trial when he was murdered. The crash had left the family entangled in a wrongful death lawsuit and under intense public scrutiny. Paul had also been receiving threats in the aftermath of the crash, leading Alex to believe they could have been connected to the murders.
The shotgun that you had when deputies pulled up, where did that come from?
I went to the house and I got a gun. Probably overreacting, but...
And was that when you pulled up and saw them?
No, I came out and, I called 911 first. Talked to them for a little while, and then I told her.
You told her?
That I was going to go to the house.
Okay.
And that I would let authorities know when they got here that I had a gun.
Okay.
We do. We probably have 20, 25 guns.
Yeah. Shotguns, rifles,
pistols.
Any rifles?
Yes, sir.
What kind of rifles?
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds. You name it, across the board, we have them.
Okay.
And all of them we have are, in a hunting room.
Was it unusual for Maggie to feed the dogs this time of night or check on them?
Oh, no. She played with those dogs all the time. And it's especially common for her to, she's been gone for a while, to come and let especially two of them out to run.
Okay, so she pretty regularly comes out here in the evenings?
Very regularly.
Okay.
She comes out here a lot.
Do you have any cameras on your property?
I have deer cameras, but none, around up here.
Where are they at?
On different deer stands.
Okay, so deep in the woods.
Well, not necessarily deep in the woods. Some of them are in fields and.
Okay.
But there's none that, are near here.
Okay.
What doctor did Maggie see today?
I forget the guy's name. Maggie's been having trouble with her She's been having trouble with her stomach and her tooth. I'm not positive. It was sort of a routine visit, and I can't remember. She told me the name of him, and I can't. I want to say Gordine
Okay.
is who I think she saw. I don't think she got back quite that early. I think she got back a little bit later than that.
Okay. What did you do today? Were you at the office or?
Nope, I was home. I came home. Paul and I messed around. I was up at the house. I laid down, took a nap on the couch, probably, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. I got up, I called Maggie, didn't get an answer, and I left to go to my mom's. She had said she might ride with me, but she normally doesn't when I go over there. And I think I texted her. And she's very good about answering the phone, so that was odd, or calling me back. So that was odd, but it wasn't that big a deal.
Now, what time was that?
What time was what?
That you sent her a text message.
Alright. I texted her at 9:08, going to check on M, be right back. And then I texted her at 9:47. That must be when I started to come back. I think I called her before that. Pretty sure that I called her 9:45. And then I tried Paul. And then, no, I think that was riding. I think that might have been riding over there. 10:03.
And you said your dad's in the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Which hospital? Charleston or?
Savannah, Candler, St. Joseph's.
Is he doing okay, or what's?
He's having a really, really hard time. He's got a lot going on.
Okay.
You know, he's doing okay, given everything, but he's got a lot going on.
About Maggie's family, where are they?
Somerville.
Have you been in touch with them tonight?
Contacted, yes. I had my brother call Bart, the wife of his sister, and the husband of Maggie's sister, so that they could go and tell Maggie's parents. I felt like they needed to hear it in person, and they are going there and calling me. So they must not be there yet.
Do you have any other children?
I do. I have a 24-year-old.
That's right, you said. What's his name?
Buster. Well, Richard Alexander Jr.
Okay. He goes by Buster.
He goes by Buster.
Is he here tonight?
He's on his way.
Okay.
You said you tried to flip him over. Was he laying on his back or on his stomach?
Just like he is.
Just like he is. So you weren't able to move him. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And did he help Maggie a lot out here with the animals?
He helped everybody with everything.
Okay, so it was kind of routine for him to be out here as well in the evening?
This place is his absolute passion.
Okay.
So the coroner will come over and talk to you. They'll do the autopsy and everything, and then go from there.
Alex claimed he last saw Maggie and Paul alive at dinner. He said he then dozed off on the couch, and when he woke, the house was empty. He then drove to visit his ailing mother, and when he returned to Moselle afterward, he went down to the kennels himself and found their bodies. But his account left investigators with a crucial gap in the timeline. Hoping to fill in those missing moments, detectives next interviewed Rogan, one of Paul's closest friends. Rogan had been the last person Paul called at around 8:40 p.m. However, what Rogan told investigators would soon change the course of the entire investigation.
He called me, I've looked at my phone, it was 8:44 last night, and he said...
When you say he, who are we
Paul.
talking? Okay.
And he
then talk to us like we don't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to give us names.
Okay, so Paul...
Because when you say he, I might not know who you're talking about. I want to make sure I get it right, okay?
Paul called me.
At what time?
At 8:44.
Okay.
PM?
PM. And said that there was something wrong with my dog. And I said, well, send me a picture of it. He said, well, I'll try to FaceTime you. FaceTime me. I seen a little bit of the screen. He said, I don't think I got connection. He said, I'll send you a picture or video of it. During the conversation with him, I heard Miss Maggie and believed to be what was Mr. Ellick in the background. Can't swear that it was Mr. Ellick, but I believe it was Mr. Ellick.
How well do you know Mr. Ellick?
I'm like a third son of them.
So you would recognize his voice pretty
yeah, I'm 99% sure that was Mr. Ellick talking to me, or talking to them while I was on the phone.
Okay.
And after then, I waited for the picture, never got him, called him back a couple times, never heard from him. And I'm guessing that's when it happened, sometime between the time I talked to him at 8:44 and
that. Were they arguing? Were they?
They were talking about my dog, and said there was a little knot on his tail.
Okay.
And they wanted me to know if I was gonna come pick him up.
That's what Ellick was talking about?
Ellick was just saying that I think his tail's broke. That's what I heard the male voice say.
I got you.
Which I think was Mr. Ellick.
I got you.
Miss Maggie was asking, does she need to give him some medicine?
Okay.
And I said, no. I said, if he acts like he's fine, don't give him no medicine. I'll have my cousin come check him out, because we live right here in this area. And I was going to get my cousin to come check him out this morning.
Okay.
And
did you ever talk to Maggie or Mr. Ellick?
Never did while I was on the phone with Paul.
Does the phone go dead, or you just never got the picture?
Never got the picture. He hung up after he tried to FaceTime me, because he was going to show me the little knot on the dog's tail.
Correct.
Which I think is just a little insect bite. But he did FaceTime me, and I seen the background was the dog kennels.
Okay.
And then he said, I don't have connection, because when you get on FaceTime, you don't have connection. It's kind of lagging a little bit. Screen kind of moves around real slow.
Yes, sir.
That's what was going on, and he hung up.
Okay.
It didn't sound like there was no failure to the call, or it just went blank. Just never heard anything from him.
Okay. And you said you tried to call him back?
I tried to call him back a couple times.
From your cell phone number?
Yes, sir.
30.
Rogan's account placed Alex at the kennels just minutes before the murders, directly contradicting his claim that he had been away from the area. For the first time, investigators had reason to question whether Alex had been truthful about his movements that night. But Rogan's statement alone wasn't enough to prove Alex had lied. It was simply one witness's recollection, with nothing to corroborate it. What investigators didn't know at the time was that Paul had followed through on what Rogan described. Moments before the murders, he recorded a short video of the dog's tail, intending to send it to his friend, but the video was never delivered. Instead, it remained hidden on Paul's phone until investigators recovered it more than a year later. When they finally played the recording, they heard three voices in the background: Paul's, Maggie's, and Alex's.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Although investigators had not yet uncovered the video, Rogan's statement had already cast serious doubt on Alex's alibi. As they worked to verify his account and better understand the family's dynamics, investigators began interviewing his relatives one by one. The first was Alex's brother, Randy.
think I heard you earlier say that Alec was still at the law office when you left.
I think he was still there. And again, many times when I leave, Alec will be there. When he leaves, I'll be there. I know for a fact we talked about him visiting Daddy because he was wrong, that he can't go visit Daddy. Daddy's in the hospital. I said, you going to Savannah? And he's like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as what time it was, you know, I would defer to the camera, honestly. I mean, as I sit here, if I had to guess, I'd say it was probably 5:30 to 6, but I don't know that.
Yeah. Definitely still, so it wasn't like dark, like.
At that time, no, it was not late.
Yeah. At some point, you get a phone call from Alec. Okay. And I hate to revisit that phone call, but kind of go through that with us.
I know it was just a little bit after 10 because later that night, meaning on Monday night, when I'm standing out at Alex's place at Moselle and just believe, you know, I remember trying to look and see when that phone call was. And I think I probably actually saw the phone call then, and it was just a frantic phone call from him. But in those phone calls, and I think it was in the first one, he said, Maggie and Paul have been shot. And at some point, either in that call or the next call, he said, they shot Maggie and Paul, and that they might be dead. And I remember trying to talk to him and say, Alec, are you okay? And I might have asked him, no, not I might have, I'm going to presume I asked him. No, I know for a fact I asked him because I know his answer. His answer is yes, I've called 911. So I asked him, have you called 911? To know what I needed to do. And he had already called 911. I think we probably ended it with me saying, I'm coming right now, I'll be there in a few minutes. I know I talked to Alec again and told them I'm on my way. And he was saying what he already believed, but it was like, I don't remember what the words were, but basically he was telling me that they're shot and I think they're dead. And it was not a calm conversation. It was a very frantic conversation, and it was, I think I recall it was a lot shorter conversation, not that the first one was all that long. I was able to find him.
Yeah.
And there were responders already there.
Yeah. Who else for the family was there at that point? Anyone else?
I don't think anybody was there. I found him, and we just hugged and cried, and then when we stopped, I could see the white sheets up ahead. I didn't know who was where. I mean, and I still couldn't believe that it could be true. It appeared to me, and I never asked him whether he did this. It looked like to me he would call people or start to call people, or maybe he was just putting it up and had them on there about to call, but couldn't make the calls. And so I called a few people for him. And one of the calls was to his son, Buster. And he was in the hospital by himself. And so I went home and I sat with him for however long, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something. We just hugged and couldn't believe that it could be possible. And I got up a little after 6 and got ready to go to the hospital, and I went down to the hospital. with my dad the rest of the day.
Yeah. Mm. Wow. I'll say Dad didn't take it well.
No, he didn't take it well, but he was so sick. He was so sick that he I could tell he was upset, but I mean, you would not have known if you were sitting beside us. In fact, you would think my daddy wasn't very intelligent, because he said, "What happened to somebody?" And, you know, it's like he couldn't quite put it together. But when I told him, he also had just come out of a procedure. He was coming off of anesthesia, and my daddy's not an unintelligent person. It's like it's like he couldn't believe it. It's like the rest of us, but also like he wasn't comprehending it. I hate to say it, in my experience, after the boating accident, so much crap was made up and said to create news. I was just worried that he would see some kind of crap on the TV, or even just see a real reporting of it, okay? A legitimate reporting would be just as harmful for him, but I also didn't want him to get a text. I didn't want him to get a phone call, and so it was a dilemma. And to make the long story short, I didn't tell him until after he was finished with that procedure. And unfortunately, that procedure confirmed that treatment wasn't going to help him.
Ask too many questions or get too far in the weeds with things, but about Alec and his family, particularly his relationship with Maggie, and I don't have it straight.
You what?
I don't have it straight. Is Maggie and Alec together still, or are they?
What do you mean?
Like, are they still married, or are they, like, how, do you know anything about, you know, their family situation?
Before this event?
Yes, before the event.
Yeah, they're still married. Okay. They're still living together. As far as I know, they don't have any problems.
Okay. No marital issues or anything. I'm sorry, I prying questions, but we got to ask them nonetheless.
None that I'm aware of at all, and I would know.
Yeah, absolutely, you would know, because I mean,
yes,
it's obvious that you and Alec are very close.
We are close.
So I would expect him to, you know, if there were any issues with the family, he would probably share that with you.
Well, I think you would see it too.
Yeah. So none of that. Obviously, Paul had his own set of problems. We're not here to, you know, bring up old events or talk about, you know, the troubles he was in or anything like that. But you know, Paul had his own set of issues. We know that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it that. Paul made some bad decisions one night, and it led to a grave set of circumstances. He put his friends in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And with events that I don't fully understand, that accident happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how it happened, but I know it happened because of what he had done earlier.
Yeah.
You know what? But
so
those became issues because
of,
you know, you hear or see or read what I call loudmouths on social media, which I think are people that probably have something wrong with them, and they hide behind a computer screen and saying stuff they shouldn't say.
Yeah.
And while those might be the loudest, they're certainly not the majority. But when you read some of that stuff, there's some really sick people. I tend to think people are good people, and there's a few bad people out there.
Sure there are.
I can't imagine that people that write that crap could do something, but I don't know. There's some really, look at some of the stuff after this. There's some really sick people. I don't know how they feel, because all you hear is their lawyer talking and not them. But do I think that Philip or Renee could just, no way.
Yeah.
That's the beach. Parents, no, I don't think there's any possible way. The two of them. Is there some weird person out there, sick person that gets pumped up by all this crap that's said that Mike could do it? I don't know, I mean, there's bad people. I don't know who they would be. So I don't know of enemies, but I do know that Paul would get threats all the time.
Yeah.
I've heard Alex say that he continues to get them. What does that mean when,
Investigators next turned to Alex's son Buster and his brother John, who described the family's relationships and shared their observations in the months leading up to the murders.
I got a phone call from him. My wife and I were watching television. He called me. He was going to check on our mom, whether y'all know or not, who has Alzheimer's, dementia. My dad, I had checked him into the hospital that day, and he was checking on her because she's very anxious. And, he was just, calling me to kind of, give me an update, like we all kind of communicated about that. And we didn't talk long. He, just told me what he was doing. And you asked about him, us talking. He then, of course, called me later once all this.
Okay, what time did he call you later?
We were still watching television, so it would have been closer to 10, I would guess.
Okay.
He just described. He said, John, Paul, and Maggie have been shot, have been hurt. It was just total panic. And he said, please get here as fast as you can.
Okay.
And I just got dressed as quick as I could.
Okay. How often do you interact with Paul?
Quite often.
Okay.
Paul was working for me this summer.
Okay, and in what capacity was Paul working for you?
Just summer work.
Okay. And which company was he working?
For Murdaugh Reynolds in Okatee. He's worked for me 2, maybe 3 summers now.
Okay. Was he? How was he doing? I mean, now look, I know that in no way are we trying to speak ill of anybody that's been involved in this, but obviously something has happened of a violent nature that we have to kind of get a better understanding of who these people are.
Right.
And there's no good way to ask. Did you ever witness any behavior that was?
You talking about bad behavior?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, he was an asset. He was a joy. I mean, customers loved talking to him.
Okay.
He was probably a lot friendlier than anybody else because we're doing it every day, and
yes,
he's there for the summer.
Okay. Nothing of any concern. I mean, with Paul. Now, let me ask you: were there any issues with Maggie? I mean, Did you know of any of her friends that she might have associated with or hung out with? Or?
Well, she's very close with my wife.
Okay.
They communicate regularly.
What about with Maggie? Any weird, any indifferent behavior recently? That
I didn't have enough contact with her.
Okay.
I would see Maggie on special occasions. Things like that. I didn't communicate with her like my wife does.
Okay, and nothing that has your wife ever said anything that, hey, something seems off, or?
No.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask you some questions about Alec as well.
Sure.
Can you think of anything of concern that the family, any issues that Alec might be going through, any changes in his behavior recently, the last couple months?
Again, he's been dealing with the same issues with the.
And for the purpose of this interview, what issues are you talking about?
The gossip that's been going around
about
the boating accident.
Okay.
Other than that, he's rock solid.
Okay. And now let me ask you this: I don't know him, but anytime you have someone who's obviously something happened on this property, and it's. I asked Alex's behavior the last couple months. You said he seemed rock solid. has he ever voiced any concerns about being in fear for his safety or anything like that?
Nothing that I would remember. It must not have been significant. If he died, no, he would have said something. He's he's just not that type. He's he's a strong.
Okay.
He's a strong one.
Well, let me any issues with alcohol, medication, anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
My dad sent a text message that contained my girlfriend and I believe, and it said, "Call me urgent." Call him, and then he tells me what has happened.
You still have that text message?
I do.
So you call him and he tells you?
Yes.
Remember what he told you?
When I got on the phone, he asked me if I was sitting down, and I was asking him if everything was okay, is anything wrong, and he said something terrible has happened. I could tell that he was emotional. He goes on to tell me that my mother and brother have been shot and killed, and it gets to the point, and then he hands the phone to my Uncle Randy, and then he proceeds to tell me the same thing, and I told him that I am getting my stuff prepared and that I am on the way home.
When your father called, he did make mention to Paul receiving threats. He said something about he's been receiving threats, and he said something about my son knowing who they are, and I think he kind of makes reference to you knowing something about those threats, and I don't know if you're aware of that or whatever, but it kind of brings me to the next thing here, and that's a little bit why I asked you about your thought process just now. And certainly you've had more time to talk about it and process it since that time, but I'd like to talk a little bit about that comment and those feelings and these threats and so forth. And there may be multiples, it may be one significant one, but I'll let you start. I see you nodding, you must have something in mind. Yeah.
Well, I understood when he used to tell me what happened. I didn't understand of anybody, directly messaging him and threatening in his life and things of that such. The things that I knew about were, if he was out somewhere, somebody would, brush up with him, call him, piece and all these other things, and that was mostly my understanding of what he was going through, is that he would try to go places with his friends, and then there was always somebody there that wanted to, make a comment or stir something up, and in that sense.
So he never tells you about, I got a text message, somebody threatening me. I never got somebody DMing me or sending something on social media or driving by the house or spray painting something or anything overt like that somebody was threatening.
No, sir. He never told me anything about anything like that. I never was aware of anything like that.
But he would tell you about people maybe intimidating him or making those kind of comments and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Along those lines.
There had actually been several physical assaults on Paul.
Okay.
I don't know any details.
Do we know if any of them had actually been reported to authorities?
I do not know.
Okay.
I know that there was at least one physical assault in Charleston. First, I don't know if you were aware of that or not.
I was aware of that.
Okay. And Danny, just briefly, I apologize. I'm so terrible with last names. Can I
Henderson.
Henderson. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. All right, I'll get you on mine as well. Okay, so let me run some just specific stuff by you here. We all know about the boat incident, and I'm not trying to assume too much, but I'm guessing that a lot of these threats and so forth are coming as a result of that boat incident as one of the primary things. Am I wrong in that?
That's always what I thought.
That's been 100% of it, you think, or has there been other reasons? Or
I think that's been the cause.
Okay. As far as the other passengers on that boat, Anthony and Connor and the other girls and so forth on there,
Did you ever have any, or did he ever express any specific concerns about any of them posing a threat, threatening, and being frightened of them? Anything along those lines, specifically related to those people?
No, sir.
Did Paul have any other, that you're aware of, any other enemies, rivals, anybody else who you've considered or thought about, or that he's directly told you about that might have wanted to harm him?
No, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that you can look up on, Facebook that say all these terrible things and whatnot. Their names I couldn't relay to you. I just, I know there were a lot of people out there that were upset about the things that had happened and had expressed that to him in public situations. Now, I don't know any of them by their name.
Was Paul taking any kind of precautions about these threats? I mean, was he... I've been out to the area, and y'all are all avid hunters and so forth. Obviously, there's a lot of weapons around the house and so forth. Was Paul taking any other, precautions or anything to protect himself from these sort of things?
I don't think so. I mean, really, I'd say the only precaution he took is anytime he went somewhere where these things were known to happen, he would just be around a bunch of his buddies that would be able to, de-escalate any situation that arose.
Generally speaking, starting with, your family's obviously been under a lot of pressure over the last year or so here. More than a year here, but obviously since the boat accident, things have been difficult. Publicity, I have to imagine that does put some kind of strain on everyone and pressure, and then you have the threats on top of that. I know this sounds a little personal, but if I don't ask it, somebody else will make up something. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Just ask whatever you do.
Were there any family problems that you were seeing that might have been a cause of that stress, or fights where any things like that, just in general?
No, sir, no family problems. I mean, obviously people are going to be upset about it, but no, it never caused any tension between any of us.
That you can see?
Yes, sir.
While the interviews were underway, investigators continued processing the crime scene and uncovered several key pieces of evidence. Near the kennels, they found a camouflage Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 shotgun that they believed was involved in the crime. Investigators determined that Paul had been shot twice with a shotgun. Evidence suggested he was standing when the shots were fired, one of which caused a catastrophic head injury. 2 spent shotgun shells were recovered near his body. Maggie had been shot multiple times with a .300 blackout-style rifle, sustaining wounds to her head, back, and leg. The use of 2 different firearms immediately raised questions.
And had there been any change in the family dynamic recently? Anything that, we're kind of grasping at any type of, when family members are shot in a way that they were shot, it tends to be, this doesn't seem like a random.
Right. No, there's, we've had a lot of health issues with my parents, but if anything, well, we've always been such a close, strong family, but if anything, it's made us, stronger and closer.
All right. Were there any marital issues between Alec and Maggie?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Any issues that had developed between Paul and Alec?
Not that I'm aware of.
And any issues that may have developed between Paul and Maggie?
Again, not that I'm aware of. Okay. Paul was pretty open with me about most things, and if Paul knew something, I probably would have known.
Okay.
No.
And he hadn't said anything to you recently about?
No.
All right. Do you know if Paul is...
the only negative thing he said was about that CB.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did he say anything?
Again, it makes your mind wonder after the fact, but I think he was agitated. I think they were agitated that he messed up had been messing up.
Yeah.
And again, this has been kind of put in my head after the fact.
Okay. Well,
but Paul did tell me, he says, listen, he sprayed the duff, and I got to go plant it again. That kind of talk.
But the thing is that but
no harsh words like, no brush-ups or anything like that.
So he hadn't had any brush-ups with CB or anything like that?
Well, not that I know
that
of.
you're aware. Okay. And would Paul have been over at Moselle? So like if CB was going to get fired or spoken to, would Paul be the one to do it? Or
no, I'm sure not.
Let's ask about the guns. And did you know Paul to travel with guns?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's what type of gun would you I know it's kind of a vague question to ask, but is there anything?
Would he normally have in his truck? I would assume a shotgun. Shotgun. If he's like me, I either keep a shotgun or a 22. I mean, we have farms. We're always shooting pigs and whatnot.
Have you ever been down to those dog kennels before?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Was he known? Would he walk from the house down to the kennels? Would that be normal for him to be down there?
Well, for him to be at the dog kennel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's probably, and again, I'm only speculating.
Sure.
But Paul was an outdoors person.
Mm-hmm. And then would it be normal for Maggie to be down there as well?
Well, I've since then, in the conversation we've had, I found out yes, it is normal for her to go down there.
Okay. How would they normally get down there? Would you know?
Based on what I've heard since Monday, is Paul would always drive something, and it didn't matter. And it sounds like that if it had keys in it and gas in it, he would drive it.
Okay.
There was no one favorite.
But you don't know how he would have driven down there?
You talking about then?
Yeah.
That night?
Monday
No,
night.
no.
Okay. Do you know if Maggie, would she carry a gun when she...
I don't think Maggie was a hunter or shooter. I think she was a lady's lady.
But if Paul was coming from the house down to the kennels, you'd expect him to have a gun?
I mean, he wouldn't carry a gun just because he was going there. But if he were in his truck and he's riding the property, I would assume that he's not going to ride that property without a gun. Mm-hmm. And not for safety reasons. For again, it's loaded with hogs and
for practical purposes.
It's just kind of what you do. I mean,
no, I understand. I mean, you have 1,700 acres.
Yeah, I mean
you're going to drive around and you're going to have because if you have to get out for something.
That's right. Whether you shoot snakes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would amaze me, or I would be surprised if he were in a vehicle riding the property and didn't have a gun.
Okay.
Do you keep any of the other weapons in your vehicle as you're traveling back and forth?
No, sir.
Nothing for personal protection, anything like that up there?
No, sir.
How about your brother? Do you have any idea what guns he owned, or which ones were his?
A little bit more than I did. I know he's got same thing, 12-20 gauge. I think his are both Benelli. I know he's got.
You think both you have 20 gauge Brady? You think he's got 20 gauge?
I know he's got. I think he's got a 20 gauge. I think he's got a 20 gauge Benelli. I don't know, because a lot of them Dad buys and we just use them as like commutal.
Yeah.
But the ones that I guess he said what would be his is I know he's got a 20 gauge Beretta, the same one as mine. We just have two of them.
Okay.
And then he's got a 12 gauge Benelli, and he's got a 270 short mag. He's got a 7mm 08. And obviously he had one of the blackouts that is missing.
You know when that went missing?
No, I know it wasn't far off from when we got him in Christmas, maybe 6 months to 8 months, maybe to a year after that. So it's, multiple years it's been gone.
You said 1 year at Christmas. Did you say what year?
It would have been the Christmas of 2018.
I want to talk about the kennels.
Okay.
And obviously, that's where things happen down there.
Yes, sir.
I just want to talk about maybe some routines down there. Your mother frequented the kennels, I suppose.
My mom did frequent the kennels when she was in Moselle. She loved to go down there, and she would let the dogs out and do all that. So she was down there often.
What's your mother, if we can talk about her for a moment, just digress her from the kennels just a little bit. her day-to-day as you understood it, did she have any kind of work she did, side jobs, volunteering, anything that she passed her time with?
Nothing like that. She would just, her day-to-day were, getting things for us done that we needed. She was doing some inside stuff with a interior decorator and also some contractors. Yeah, they were redoing some ceilings and some flooring and stuff like that. And then she had gotten a decorator in there and they were doing that. And then her most recent thing is she was getting a couple local builders were fixing the porches and the staircases.
So there was really nobody else like she would confide in, or like if something was wrong, did you know of anybody she'd like call up and say, hey, I got to get this off my chest or anything like that?
No, nobody other than those people that I've named.
No, okay.
When she would go to the kennels, I mean, was there a set routine to how she did that or so forth?
I don't think so, and I don't know. I didn't go with her all the time. I just think she, and she also she would like to walk. She would walk from the house to the kennel. She would like to do that for exercise, and then when she got down there, I think she just kind of played with the dogs. She would maybe feed a dog, spray out a kennel if she needed to, if it was dirty. She'd walk up there. Sometimes I'm assuming we used to get packages at the shed. Maybe she would check for packages.
Dogs themselves, I mean, were any of them, did any of them specifically belong to any specific members of the family or?
Well, we would kind of title them that way, but they were all just family dogs. Like my black dog's up there, who I claim as mine. But other than that, I know Bubba was a family dog. Paul just had gotten a dog, but he's off at obedient camp. My grandfather's dog would be out there often. My buddy Rogan's dog would be out there often because he worked all day and he would check him into the kennel and then come get him in the evening. And then we had a couple.
Rogan is
Rogan Gibson.
Where does Rogan live?
He's been going in between, but his house is out on. But he's the way his work's lined up, he's been staying with his girlfriend because he's been working more.
He has a dog out there as well.
He does. He just got a puppy, and he'll put it out there if he needs to go do something for a little while.
And would it be unusual for Paul to be down there around that same time, as far as you know?
No, Paul was always around. Maybe not the kennel, but around that shed area. He liked to work on stuff, so he was usually around any given time around there.
And I asked these questions to lead to something I thought about. I mean, when you find out about this terrible thing that's happened and so forth, and you found out that they were down there, was their presence down there of any kind of surprise to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Buster, do you know anybody who would have wanted to harm your mother?
No, sir.
The issues, like say somebody's out there firing a weapon or something like that. Anybody ever accidentally shoot any of those buildings in the past or something like that? Let a round off or accidentally put one through a wall somewhere? Or something
Any of
like
the
that?
shed buildings?
Yeah, any of the buildings out there.
Never that I was aware of.
Anybody? Was it uncommon for anybody to shoot out like in the yard, so forth? I mean, like just out there on the property. I mean, I know that obviously there was shooting for hunting and stuff, but out there in the grounds, I mean, was it
like around the area of the shed?
Around the area of the shed, around the house, around the processing area, any of those areas? I mean,
by the house we'd do it that's kind of where we did our skeet shooting.
Okay.
It was over there by the house, but no, we didn't fire many. I mean, I never shot anything real close to the shed or anything like that.
Do you think maybe someone was after your brother and your mom happened to be down there? Like what is...
I would say if I had to have a take, that's probably what it would be.
Yeah.
I think that someone was probably trying to kill my brother and that my mom was probably just there.
Do you think that was because of the boat?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry for asking that, but
it's okay.
you know, y'all knew
I'm
them
sure
better
you thought
than
of little
anybody.
else. I mean, to some degree. All right. Well, one thing I need to do, and we're asking this of everybody today, is as you know, we've collected a lot of evidence down there at the scene, and because it's a family property that people have frequented here and there, as we gather evidence and we get things like DNA, we need to get elimination samples from the family members here. And the reason why is that if we run something and it comes back unknown person, we have to find out who that unknown person is. If it comes back to a family member, I'm going to expect to some degree that family member DNA is going to be in common areas. Something in the dog kennel, something on a shared weapon that people touch, something in a vehicle people drove. So what I'd like to do while we're here today is get what's called a buccal swab from you. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
It's a long cotton swab. I've got them in the back. And what I'll do is I'll just rub the inner side of your cheeks. We'll put it in a bag, and it'll get sent up and run as comparison evidence for everybody. And there. Do you have any problems submitting to that today?
No, sir. I'm good.
Buster, is there anything you want to ask us?
No, ma'am.
As the evidence continued to build, Alex was brought back for 2 additional interviews on June 10th and August 11th, 2021. During those interviews, investigators revisited his timeline and compared his statements against the growing body of digital and forensic evidence.
Let's start Monday morning and take me through your day.
Monday morning, you know, did I do Monday morning? My wife and my older son had gone to the baseball games that weekend. You know, I really can't remember what I did Monday. I know I went to work, but, you know, I think I was dragging a little bit from the weekend, but I went to work. I usually mess around on my farm, and then I go to work. I was at work. You know.
Were you at the office in Hampton? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I was at my office in Hampton. You know, I mean, I was just at my office doing
legal work.
Yes, sir. I'm sure I can go back and probably recreate some specifics if you need me to, but I can't like sit here and recall on the top of my head exactly what I was working on. I know one thing I was working on was we had some big motions coming up in a Dominion Energy case. I was getting ready for those. And I was getting ready for some motions. I'm a defendant in a civil case involving my son. I told you about the boat wreck.
Yes, sir.
And there were some motions coming up in that on Thursday, and I was mostly just getting ready for those things, and then other junk.
What time did you leave the house to go to the office?
I'm not sure.
Who all was at the house when you left?
To go to my office that morning?
Or when you got up, who was at the house?
I'm sure my wife was. And I can't remember if Blanca had made it out there yet or not.
And who was Blanca?
Blanca is our housekeeper.
Okay.
And she comes different. She doesn't have set hours, but she comes most days. She'll be able to tell you if I was there when she left or not. I can't remember.
And so you went to the office, you did, you know, some motions. What time did you leave the office?
I left a little bit earlier than normal because my son Paul was coming home. Because he had not been with us during the weekend, and he was coming home. We were going to replant some sunflowers the next day. And so he was calibrating, doing and getting everything ready. So he got home a little early. I left a little early so he and I could knock around, and we knocked around for, you know, just doing things we like to do out there. At some point, we were all back at the house together. Maggie had gotten home, and, you know, we sat down, we ate supper, which we usually eat supper together. The one thing I remember, I don't know how much detail y'all want, so if I start talking about something that you don't need, just tell me and I'll move to something else.
The more detail, the better, sir.
So Paul has been having high blood pressure, and his mama was worried sick about it. So we were actually, you know, this was a direct thing, getting him, he doesn't like to go to doctors, making him go get his blood pressure checked. His feet had swollen up recently.
Wow.
So, that was a big, huge deal.
Okay.
We hung around the house for a little while. I know that Maggie went to the kennels. I don't know exactly where Paul went, but he left the house too.
Okay. How did Maggie get down to the kennels?
I don't know exactly, but on normal occasions she would drive a buggy, drive a four-wheeler, or very common for her to walk.
Okay. How about Paul?
Paul wasn't much of a walker, but he would use all of the others.
Okay.
But it could be anyway.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
What did you do once Maggie and Paul left?
I stayed in the house.
Okay.
And I was watching TV, looking at my phone, and I actually fell asleep on the couch.
Okay. And what time did you?
I don't know
wake up?
exactly what time I woke up, but when y'all get my phone, I think one of the first things I did when I got up was call Maggie, because I was going to my mom's. And I know I texted her because I checked my phone. And what time did we say the text was, Jim? Like 9:06?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I got it written down from the other night.
I showed you the other night, didn't I?
Yes, sir. I got this.
So, I texted her, so I called her just before that. And, she didn't answer at that point. And I left to go to my mom's.
Okay.
Y'all will just have to look. I'm not sure if I called Paul or not.
and that's why we're getting the phone, so we can nail down the times and everything.
So I left, I drove. I'm gonna tell y'all this, even though I think it's kind of crazy. I was certain that I heard them pull up. I know that I called some people on the way there. I know I returned a call from my brother John. I know that I called Chris Wilson. I know that I talked to Buster. So I made a few phone calls.
Okay.
And
where was Buster?
Buster was in Rock Hill.
Okay. Is that where he lives, or?
No, he lives in Columbia, but he just started a new job. I left my mom's and I went back home. I got to the house. I went inside. Nobody was there. I got in the car. I went back to the kennels and,
And when you went back to the kennels, besides Maggie and Paul, did you see anybody, any cars?
I didn't see anything right then, no, sir.
Take your time.
I saw Maggie and I saw Paul laying down. I knew, I didn't know, I knew it was bad. I went over there and, I saw it.
Yeah.
And, I called 911.
Okay. And what made you decide to go back to the house and get a gun?
I just think the whole scene had me freaked out.
Okay. Did you take your car back up there, or did you run up there?
No, I drove.
Okay. And of course, the shotgun that we have is the one you brought back.
They were asking me earlier. I'm not sure which one it was.
Jim, it was a 12 gauge. I know, Ronnie had the question if it was 12 or 20. It was a 12 gauge.
And it was that camo, though, right?
Yes, sir. I think it was the 12 camo Benelli.
Benelli. I think so.
I can tell you this, in riding around with Paul, he was his normal bright, he was a really great kid.
So, being a dad myself, what was the biggest issue you had with Paul? When you had to call him down and scold him or correct him, what was the biggest issue you had with Paul?
Irresponsibility. He was ADHD. He was bad about jumping from, and he had so many wonderful qualities now, but he was bad about jumping from, he'd start this, maybe not quite finish it, do something else. And you know, you'll find out from his friends he had clothes strung out all over the state. He did that with clothes. He did that with guns. He did that with my boats.
Lost.
So.
He lost what?
He would misplace stuff or just leave stuff behind, right?
Yes, everywhere, everywhere. I mean, he would go off for the weekend. Sometimes he wouldn't pack clothes because he's got clothes in somebody's house. I mean, Paul was one. He wouldn't understand how you go out. You know, you and a girl go out on a date. He liked the crowd.
Paul was in Charleston, so he didn't hang out with y'all that weekend.
No, sir.
And what time did Maggie get back home Monday night?
It was after Paul and I had gone. She was not there when Paul and I left to go mess around.
Okay.
So, you know, it was sometime after that. So there was a point when, you know, she got back, we got back.
When y'all got back from riding around and messing around on the farm, was she home or?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I don't believe she'd been home too long when
And what's her car? That Mercedes that's out there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is your relationship with Maggie?
Very good. As good as it could possibly be. I mean, you know, we had our issues, but wonderful.
And I'm just trying to understand the family dynamic.
I understand you got to do what you got to do, I promise.
What was y'all's biggest arguments? What your biggest the things that y'all would argue about the most, what would they be over?
I mean, we really didn't argue, but I'd say the only thing that caused any friction between us is that she was always wanting us to go, and I love her in-laws. I mean, they're wonderful people. I love them to death. She was always wanting to go there, stay there a little longer than me and the boys wanted to stay. That was really, and it really, you know, she'd get ticked off.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a wonderful girl and a wonderful wife, and she was a great mother. She, you know, she didn't work, and she always said it was her job. She was privileged enough not to work. She was gonna make sure she took care of me and the boys, and I mean, she did everything. She did absolutely everything.
That afternoon, or during the time you and Paul were riding.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all go up to around the kennels or anything? Did y'all do anything up toward the kennels?
I'm sure we did. You know, that's our main shop is, you know, right there. But, you know, I mean, we're normally in there for long times tinkering, and I will say that particular day, we did not tinker around there a bunch.
Let's start with what was in your house on Monday.
Okay, whatever was in my house on Monday is exactly what was there minus one shotgun that y'all got.
Okay.
No guns have been moved for, you know, there hadn't been any guns moved in and out of there other than when Paul was home. You know, when Paul came home, he would ride around and shoot hogs a lot.
What would he shoot hogs with?
You know, I mean, primarily he would shoot them with Buster's gun. Because Paul had a 300 Blackout.
Okay.
And it got, you know, he says it got stolen.
Which leads me to, let's go back to Paul right quick while we're on him. So we have his phone. Do you know his passcode?
I don't. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There's a few people I can point you to.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that he was super, super, super secretive with that. I mean, cell phone. I asked his brother if he knew it. Did the ones that they got the other day didn't work?
Did y'all get any the other day?
Not for Paul's phone. No.
Okay.
If you believe somebody gave us a code for Paul's, or a possible code for Paul's?
You know, maybe it was Maggie's. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'll find out. I will try to find out Paul's code.
Okay.
But it will surprise me greatly if somebody knows it. Did y'all get fingerprints on her phone?
I haven't gotten that back yet.
Yeah, I did not try to open it or anything. You know, I don't know how I had in my mind that I needed to not mess anything up. I had that, you know, somehow I had that presence of mind that I needed to not mess anything up.
By the time investigators sat down with Alex again, the case had changed dramatically. Since his previous interview, they had recovered a crucial piece of digital evidence, a video recorded by Paul and later obtained from his friend, Will. The footage placed Alex at the kennels with Paul at 7:56 p.m., almost an hour before the murders, directly contradicting his statement of never having been to the kennel area that night. Furthermore, the clothing seen in the video did not match what Alex was wearing when officers arrived. Armed with this new evidence, investigators brought Alex back in for another interview to confront the growing inconsistencies in his account.
The update is I'm doing the investigation, and I have some questions that I would like some answers to. And I mean, certainly if you know, I ask the question, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to answer it.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay. I mean, it's more clarifications of the 2 interviews you've already given me.
I totally understand.
Okay.
Just wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. All right. I need for you to tell me, are you going to give us information, or are we just here for you to ask questions?
I'm going to give you some information.
Right. Why can't you give us information first?
Some of the information that you're asking about are in my questions. And as we go through, you'll see.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I
know you don't. I know you don't. But I can't. I mean, I'm a friend, but I'm also a lawyer, and I like to know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I like to understand what we're talking about. You know. I need you to answer this question.
Okay.
Are you asking him questions to further your investigation, or are you asking him questions because you think that he's a suspect? I need a straight answer.
I am asking these questions to further my investigation.
All right. Does that mean that you're not asking him these questions as a suspect? Because it...
Go ahead. Say it.
Because I'm not comfortable with you asking him questions as a suspect when I came here with the thought that you were going to be telling him where you are in the investigation.
Any homicide investigation, mm-hmm. you start with the closest person and or the person who found the deceased. Mm-hmm. Both cases, that's Alec. Mm-hmm. Everybody stays in that investigation until we can get them out. Mm-hmm. And right now, because of the questions that I have that I need explanations for, I cannot get Alec out.
Okay. All right. That's a reasonable statement. I don't have any problem with that statement. That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Do anything to help.
All right. That's fine.
So I want to go back to Monday morning, and you went to the office.
Okay.
What time did you go to the office? Who was at your house when you left, and what time did you go to the office?
We had been to a ball game that weekend. I don't remember exactly what time. It would have been somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30 probably. Okay. 10 o'clock maybe, okay. At the latest. Okay. Something like that.
And when I ask about time, I'm not saying, you know, it was 5:11 or something like that. I just
totally understand.
I need ballpark.
That's
as close as you can get to it.
And if you need to know exactly when, there would be a keypad that will tell when exactly I went in my office.
Okay.
That I can get for you.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So you have a key fob to get in your office?
A card.
A card.
Yes,
card.
sir.
Okay.
But you know, a little bit. It was probably a little bit on the later side of that. I guess I know Maggie got up early to get out of there because she had an appointment in Charleston. I just don't remember if I left right after she did or I piddled around.
Okay. But and I already know that Paul stayed at John Marvin's that night, so it was just you and Maggie in the house.
That's correct.
Okay. And I know when you were at the office, you were working on motions, and some of those motions you dealt with were for Paul's the boat accident or the boat case.
I'm not really doing the legal work.
I understand, but you know, you're Paul's dad, you're a lawyer, you're definitely going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, so what were those motions? I mean, did it deal with Parker's, or was it the actual boat accident, or?
It was the civil case.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time did you leave and get home?
Earlier than normal. I'd say 5:30.
That's when you left the office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time did Paul get home that night?
Me and Paul got there about the same time.
Okay.
Maybe he was a little bit later than me, or maybe a little bit earlier than me, but it was close to the same time.
Okay. And y'all rode around the farm. And I believe you said 2 different trucks or 2 different vehicles.
Yes, sir.
What were those 2 different vehicles?
We rode in the white pickup truck, and we rode in the black pickup truck.
In either one of those, did you see any long guns? Take your time.
It's okay.
Did you see any rifles or shotguns?
I don't remember seeing any that day, no. We did have pistols.
Yeah, because I know you said you went target practicing.
Well, not really target practice, just shooting.
Yeah.
But we rode around for a couple hours, just looked at everything. All the stuff Paul did on the farm, and we just spent, you know, time together.
Let me go get you some.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Don't be sorry.
Hey,
you can do this?
I can do it.
All right.
We started out going to look at the sunflowers because he was worried about the sunflowers. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing we looked at, and then we just rode. We just rode and looked at. I mean, we hadn't done it in a while, but we just rode, talked, and rode, talked.
What'd y'all talk about?
Everything, you know, just. One of the main things, he'd been having trouble, his feet had swelled up, and we were worried about blood pressure and stress on him, and I mean, he handled all this stuff so amazingly, but I mean, we were just so worried about it. But I mean, we talked about that, we talked about the farm, we just talked about everything.
Had Paul been seeing a doctor for the feet?
No, sir.
So y'all trying to get him to go?
Trying to get him to go.
And he was resistant?
Yeah, he had been resistant, but much less so after his feet swelled up. Very, very resistant. I mean, we had talked to him about seeing a doctor, about the stresses of everything with the boat wreck. He didn't think he needed to do that. I mean, we tried to watch him really closely. But he was resistant.
What time did Maggie get back home that night?
Later. I'd say probably, the best I can tell, a couple hours after after we got there. But Maggie wasn't supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad. And so she came home.
Where was she going to stay that night?
At Edisto. We were having work done down there. And I wasn't 100%, but it's pretty well she was going to stay at Edisto.
So it kind of surprised you that she came back?
That didn't totally surprise me. She'd let me know earlier that she was coming home. But then I found out later why she came home.
She was concerned for you?
Sir.
What time did y'all sit down and eat dinner?
Not too long after that. Blanc had made dinner.
Maggie and Paul went to the kennels, or?
You know, I don't know exactly how that went. I stayed on the couch and I dozed off. So, and then I got up.
Did you watch TV that night?
I know the TV was, I believe the TV was on. But I wasn't watching it, you know, I mean.
There is a video on Paul's phone of you and him on the farm that night. And you were in khaki pants and a dress shirt. You were playing with a tree.
I don't remember playing with a tree.
Yeah. I guess there was a tree sapling or something that had fallen over or bending over, and you were trying to get it to stand up. But I mean, the question in that is, when I met you that night, you were in shorts and a t-shirt. At what point in that evening did you change clothes?
I'm not sure. You know, it would have been
before dinner or after dinner?
No, it would have been. What time of day was that? I would have thought I had already changed.
There's not a time stamp on it because there's so many posts. But I want to say it looks to be about dusk. So that would have been 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I guess I changed when I got back to the house.
Earlier when we spoke, and you talked about waking up from your nap and going to check on your mother, and you tried to call Maggie and you tried to call Paul, and then you sent Maggie a text that you were going to check on your mother. You also told me that Maggie didn't normally go with you to check on your mother, but that she might ride that night. Did you go by and check on her?
Go by and check on my mom?
Maggie, before you left to go?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? With her not responding to you, and thinking that she might ride with you, why didn't you?
I don't remember having plans that Maggie was going to ride with me. but maybe she had told me that she was that night. I don't recall that. I don't remember that specifically, but I mean, it wasn't, she didn't normally go with me. I mean, it's not like we had plans that she was going to ride with me or that she was going.
Investigators also examined Maggie's phone, which had been recovered along a roadside about a quarter mile from the crime scene. Its location suggested that someone had removed it from the scene before discarding it. Investigators would later determine that the phone lay directly along the route Alex's Suburban traveled that night, with GPS data placing him at that exact location, just 2 minutes after leaving the Moselle property.
These are just maps I pulled off of Google.
Okay.
What route did you take from Moselle to your mom's?
I would have gone to the right on Moselle Road, 63, into Varnville, turn left on the road right before 278, 601, and then in front of the school, turn right. That's how I believe I went.
How long would you say you were at your mom's that night?
45 minutes, an hour.
And you left and went back home. Did you make any stops on the way?
On the way there?
On the way to your mom's or on your return trip back home?
Stops. No, I didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
I went straight there. I did not notice her.
When earlier in the day, when you were down at the shed in the kennels with Paul, did y'all discuss any injuries to any dogs?
Did he and I? No, but Rogan Gibson told me about the dog's tail, and somebody saying his leg was broken.
Which one's his dog?
It's a chocolate puppy, I think.
Okay. Was the leg broken?
Not that I know of.
I can certainly see why something might be wrong with his tail, because when I was out there, he was chasing his tail and putting it through the fence and trying to grab it.
Yes, sir.
So it was all that puppy energy. When you got back to Moselle, which driveway did you enter?
I went into brick gates.
Brick gates.
Yes, sir.
And Maggie and Paul weren't there. Were there vehicles at the house?
Yes, sir.
How did they get down there that night?
I was hoping you were going to be able to tell me that.
The only thing that I can come up with is that black truck. Is that Buster's old black truck?
Yes, sir.
Does it normally stay down at the farm, or does it stay at the house?
Both.
Both. Did Maggie ever walk down there?
Maggie walked down there a lot. But Paul, I mean, if you showed me some proof that Paul walked down there that night, I would be surprised. Absolutely surprised.
Well, thinking about Paul's health concerns, do you think Maggie could have gotten him to walk that night? Say, come on, let's walk with me this one time?
You know, it's possible, but again, that would be highly, highly unusual. He would have talked her into riding. Been highly unusual for him to walk.
So when you were at the you were just down there with Paul. You left and went back to the house for dinner.
You know, I mean, Paul and I were just knocking around up at the shop, the shed, the kennels, and the, you know, just the whole property. And that was before dinner, yes, sir.
Okay. And you didn't go back down there after dinner until your return trip from visiting your mother?
Yes, sir.
I've got information that Paul was on the phone and Maggie was heard in the background and you were heard in the background, and that was prior to 9 p.m.
I heard Rogan Gibson ask me if I was up there. He said he thought it was me.
Was it you?
At 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Not if my times are right.
Who do you think it could have been?
I have no idea.
And Rogan's been around your family for pretty much all his life.
Oh, absolutely.
And he recognizes your voice, and you have a distinct voice. Do you think of anybody else that has a voice similar to yours that he may have misinterpreted?
No, sir.
Investigators then intensified their questioning, pressing Alex on the inconsistencies in his account.
You say here, like you're talking to somebody else or something else.
I say here?
Here, yes, sir. So the dispatcher is asking you if they're breathing, and you said no. And she asked if you did you see anyone else in the area, and you said no. She asked about guns near them, and you said no. And then you kind of stutter and start moving around, and you said here.
I don't have any memory of saying that. I guess I'd have to listen to it to, you know, but I don't recall a dog being out. I'm certain that there was not a dog out.
And we also talked about that this night. That night, you returned back to the house to get a shotgun.
Yes, sir.
What door did you enter?
The best that I can remember, I went in the side door, and I went straight to the gun cabinet.
Were you focused on any particular shotgun, or you just grabbed one?
I just grabbed one.
How do you normally load your shotguns? Avid hunters load shotguns special ways, different types of munitions, and I'm just asking you how you load yours.
I mean, I normally put it in the chamber and push the button.
What types? What type of shot do you load?
All kinds. I mean, I've loaded bird shot, buck shot, slugs, skeet shot.
At the same time? I mean, would you load like a bird shot and a buck shot in the same load?
Not normally. I mean, normally you're putting in, you know, a load for whatever you're hunting.
Mm-hmm. The reason I'm asking about that, the shot shells that we recovered that night, one was a turkey load, one was a buckshot.
I understood that.
The shotgun that you had with you that night, there was a bird shot and a buckshot. when Jeff went back the next day, I'm not sure which attorney it was, pointed out that there had been a shotgun laying on the pool table that he had put away, and pointed out the ammunition that was with that, and it was a buckshot and a birdshot. And then the shotgun that we took for potential comparison, it was also loaded with a birdshot and a buckshot. So I have all of these consistent loads along with what's at in the feed room. I call it the feed room at the kennels. Is that what you call it?
That's
okay.
Good enough.
Okay. I just want, if I say feed room, I just want you to know what I'm talking about.
The night I grabbed the shells that I could get my hands on, I don't, you know, I had no idea exactly what I had.
Okay.
That I think are missing.
Okay. And what kind of guns are those?
It would be a Benelli shotgun, a Browning shotgun, and a pump shotgun.
The Benelli and the Browning, are they pump or autos?
The Benelli and the Browning are automatic.
And the pump shotgun, what brand is that?
I believe it's a Remington, but I'm not positive.
You know, we've talked about the shot shells. So the cartridge casings were 300 blackout cartridge casings that were found by Maggie. There were also cartridge casings found by your house, by the side door to the gun room, and at the shooting range.
Okay.
And the ones by the house and some of the ones found at the shoot range are confirmed matches to the ones found by Maggie.
Okay.
So, which gives another concern. I've got the same load as the shot shells in multiple guns and 300 blackout that match ones found on your property.
So you now believe that those guns, that Paul's guns were used?
Yes.
Okay.
And missing.
And I understand that somebody had seen that gun recently, but, you know, and I'd asked Buster about it. I believe that that gun has been gone since back before Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Nolan recalls Paul's first 300 going missing around Halloween at a party at Hampton.
Halloween of 2020.
When did y'all?
No, that because that was
no. It was
years.
Yeah, it was whatever Christmas he got it. So 17. Christmas of 17. So it was the Halloween after in 18 is when Nolan believes it was taken out of Paul's truck. There was another part in the 911 call. You made the comment, "I should have known." And the questioning that surrounded, dispatcher's asking, is anybody else supposed to be at the house? And you said, "No ma'am, please hurry." And she says, "We're getting somebody out there to you." And your next comment was, "I should have known." What are you referencing in that statement?
I don't remember saying that, but I guess, you know, all the threats and, you know, I mean, I had been convinced that this was something to do with the boat wreck and, you know, all of that.
Did Paul ever get physical with you? Ever get into a heated argument and get physical?
One time, I mean, a little bit where he wouldn't listen to me.
Did you ever get physical with him?
No, sir.
How about Maggie? Did Paul get physical with Maggie?
Never.
When you turned Paul over and his cell phone popped out and you picked it up and your statement was something like, "I thought about doing something, but then I put it back down." And that was the interview, our first interview. What were your intentions with the phone?
I don't know. I mean, when I went up to him and the phone came out, I don't remember having intentions of doing anything with the phone.
Earlier about when y'all were riding around the farm, and you said y'all had the pistol in the truck. Y'all had shot a few times, really not target practicing, but shot a few times. You said that you had, on that day, you didn't see any long guns, rifles or shotguns in the vehicle. Prior to that, how long prior to that do you recall seeing the guns or any guns in that vehicle?
I mean, Paul always had guns.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was very unusual for Paul not to have guns.
And when you say guns, rifles or shotguns or?
Everything.
Both? Okay.
Yes, sir.
His truck that he normally drove, I believe it was the Platinum, went into the shop that Friday prior to. I think Mark Ball went and got some video from Jimmy Butler's that shows Paul dropping the truck off and not removing anything from it. So basically, he would have taken the rifles out at home. Do you know what he did with those rifles? If he would have put them in a different truck, or if he put them in the house, or would he have? So the truck that he drove, where was it parked on that Friday? So where would he have swapped everything out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the truck that he drove on Friday.
One thing that I'm trying to understand is your timeline. You said you probably went to the office 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you left early around 5 or 5:30. And there's been some other timelines or times that we've talked about and you can't quite remember what the times are or what time of day it was. When the dispatcher asked you when was the last time you saw Maggie or talked to Maggie, you said an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. To me, that's, a set, without thinking about it, you rattled off that time. We're sitting here trying to figure out a timeline and you're having trouble coming up with a specific time.
I don't think that's fair.
Tell me again what I said to the dispatcher.
You said an hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours.
And what time was that?
That was when you were on the phone. When the 911 call was made at 10:06. So given 2 hours back, that would have been 8.
I mean, I think that's probably about. I think that's probably about right. And so, what you believe I'm giving you an inconsistent answer?
No, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it. When I'm asking you what time you went to the office that day, what time you got home, you're saying 5 or 5:30. I've gotten the card readout from the law firm, and it shows you going in at 5:30.
The investigators then addressed several of Alex's questions before asking whether he would be willing to undergo a polygraph examination.
Do you have that?
I would like to know exactly what happened.
Me too. The best that I've been able to put together.
Tell me, it looks like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I believe Paul was shot first. For the simple fact of where he was located.
How many times was he shot?
Twice.
I thought he shot Maggie first because I could tell it. He shot her in the back of the head.
We may honestly never know who was first, but I think it was Paul, for the simple fact he wouldn't have, if he saw his mother getting shot, he wouldn't have run to that feed room. Unless that's where one of the guns was. But, you know, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there? I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you know that the guns were in the truck? I mean, could they have been somewhere else?
They could have been somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have his normal truck.
Yeah. And I understand that Nolan Tootin believes he saw the gun 3 weeks beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to him, but is he believes it was the one that, not the one that was at the house?
His shotgun that he always kept, that Paul always kept with him?
Paul primarily kept, he kept, there were one of a couple of Benellis.
And it was a camo Benelli. Is the last one that Nolan saw.
Okay.
And HDD, some type of 7mm rifle.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that one at home?
Yes, sir. That's what he saw?
That's what he saw.
And he definitely saw it during turkey season?
Yes, sir.
Because there was some point, you know, back when it was missing at Christmas time.
The third one's missing at Christmas time?
Yes, sir. So, anyway, if he saw it in March.
Did y'all get any kind of forensic off of anything that y'all found? Just the rain and the...
Yeah. I mean, we got plenty of DNA from the scene, but...
Yeah.
It's Nolan's, it's Rogan's, it's Alex, it's Paul's, it's Maggie's, it's Buster's.
Everybody who's been out there.
Yeah.
David, can you tell me for sure? Did either one of them live after they were shot the first time?
Not long.
What does that mean?
The shooting happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Is this one person, two persons, three persons?
I'll step out just 1 second.
I've got two guns. I've got two different types of ammunition. It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
And I mean, neither one of them suffered very long.
Matter of seconds, if that.
So, David, we don't have any, I mean, not anything substantive that really makes you think, hey, this is a good...
No, sir. We don't, like I said, the only DNA we have are family and close friends. We don't have any fingerprints. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any shoe wear or tire wear impressions because it rained that night.
Right.
The The only thing that we can go off of are the cell tower dumps, or I know the FBI was out and they were out on your property on Friday riding around trying to get some cell phone data. Unfortunately, all of that takes time. You know, I talked with one guy. He called in and says, well, I knew that Maggie's son bought a house right around the corner. I'm like, okay, well, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
That Maggie had left her husband some time ago and was going to move to Florida to be closer to her father because mother was dead. And I'm like, okay, thank you, bye.
So it's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, people that want to get involved.
Yeah.
People that think they have some information. You know, and you know, especially the manner of death. They're all over the place.
Well, I mean, you know, y'all been taking a licking in the press about not disclosing stuff, but Jesus Christ, man.
I don't have anything to disclose.
Well, and you know, why are you going to tell the bad guy what you got?
Thank you.
You know? I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, look.
Nobody wants to know more than this man right here and this man right here. Still trying to figure this out. I cannot exclude the boat incident and those involved. I know that y'all are currently going through the civil portion. How far had that progressed? I mean, were y'all in the talks? Was it breaking down?
Can I say something real quick? I know nothing about the any of that stuff, and he's represented by lawyers in that case. I don't think I personally believe he shouldn't be talking about that unless the lawyers he's represented by participate. I don't think it's
okay. It just kind of brings back here.
Okay, I tell you what. Yeah, we were laughing about that because he's laughing because I had gone to great lengths to try to, that tree had gotten knocked over, and I'd gone to great lengths to try to get it to, you know, be upright.
Okay.
And
was that night? Because the friends that we talked to said it was posted that night.
I'm not sure.
Like somebody talking in the background.
No.
Okay. Like it was a call that had dropped or something. I just a few more questions.
Okay.
Did you kill Maggie?
No. Did I kill my wife?
Yes, sir.
No, David.
Do you know who did?
No, I do not know who did.
Did you kill Paul?
No, I did not kill Paul.
Do you know who did?
No, sir, I do not know who did. Do you think I killed Maggie?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts
I
take me.
understand that. And you think I killed Paul?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts take me, and I don't have anything that points to anybody else at this time.
So does that mean that I am a suspect?
You were still in, like I told Corey earlier, you were still in this. With everything that we've talked about, with the family guns, the ammunition, nobody else's DNA. I have to put my beliefs aside and go with the facts.
I understand. I mean,
another tool that we use, polygraph. Would you be willing to take a polygraph?
We're not going to answer that question. We're not answering that question.
Understood.
If you want to discuss it, we can have that discussion, but we're not going to answer that question.
Okay.
All right? Walk outside. Walk outside. Let me finish talking to you.
If you have a question, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me.
Okay.
Although the August 11th interview ended without an arrest, the investigation continued to gain momentum. Over the following months, investigators gathered additional digital, forensic, and financial evidence while continuing to scrutinize Alex's statements. Investigators had collected the clothing Alex was wearing the night of the murders, a white shirt, green shorts, and tennis shoes, for DNA analysis. Forensic testing revealed a blood stain on his shorts containing a DNA mixture consistent with both Alex and Maggie. During that time, Alex also became the focus of separate investigations after authorities uncovered an extensive series of alleged financial crimes, and he later staged a roadside shooting that prosecutors described as part of a failed insurance fraud scheme. As the case against him strengthened, prosecutors presented the evidence to a grand jury. On July 14, 2022, more than a year after Maggie and Paul were killed, Alex was indicted on 2 counts of murder. When his murder trial began in January 2023, prosecutors argued that Alex had murdered his wife and son to distract from mounting financial crimes and gain sympathy as his legal and financial troubles were closing in. Alex admitted lying to investigators about being at the kennels, but claimed he lied because of paranoia and distrust stemming from his opioid addiction, not because he committed the murders. On March 2, 2023, after deliberating for less than 3 hours, the jury found Alex Murdaugh guilty on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. The following day, he was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murders. However, the case did not end there. In May 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court unanimously overturned Alex's murder convictions, ruling that misconduct by the former Colleton County Clerk of Court had deprived him of a fair trial. The court ordered a new trial. Alex remains in prison because of his separate state and federal convictions for financial crimes. His murder retrial is currently scheduled to begin on April 5, 2027. This concludes the report from our investigation division at Twin Scope Cops. All individuals involved remain presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Thank you for supporting verified and responsible case analysis. Your engagement helps us continue this work, and we invite you to share your thoughts respectfully in the comments.